Ladies and gents, welcome back to ESA Corona Relief in support of Save the Children's Corona emergency appeal. Got to make sure that all those words are absolutely correct and in the right order. Coming up next, we're going to have Hollow Knight run by fireb0rn, and he's going to be joined by Shafe and Palm on the commentary side of things. Before we get immediately underway, I do want to let you know about an upcoming thing. We do have a bonus game coming up. King Kong 2 is a bonus game to be played after Castle of Dragon, which is in about 3-4 hours roughly, give or take a few. But yeah, there is going to be a King Kong 2 bonus run that's been added into the incentives, so make sure to have a look at that if you want to see that bonus game after Castle of Dragon. Now, speaking of incentives, the very next run is going to be Hollow Knight by fireb0rn, and we do have the kill or save the grub incentive. Currently, I think it's standing at 80-10 in favor of save, I believe. Clarification? Yes, no?
Yeah, that was a very meaningful look from fireb0rn. He does not want to save the grub.
I would really like some more donations to kill the grub right now.
Oh, there you go. You know what the runner wants, and therefore we know exactly what everyone's going to do, the opposite of what the runner wants. You should never say what you want to happen. Remember that. Save it, right? Save it? Okay, right. So that's coming up. That's going to be cut off about 30-ish minutes. About 30 minutes RTA into the run. So you have some time, but with that, I'll pass it over to fireb0rn. It's all yours, guys. Knock 'em dead.
All right, Fire, whenever you're ready, we'll count you in, and then we'll just get talking.
Okay, I'll get into it right now.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. This is Hollow Knight. It is a Metroidvania. The category is any % NMG, which means beat the game as fast as possible without major glitches. That is going to be a bit of a question mark. We're going to use one minor glitch that has a bit of a major consequence. We'll get to that later on. But anyway, it means no out of bounds and that sort of thing. For whatever reason you're not familiar with Metroidvanias, that entails you run around, get a skill, and that opens up another area for you to go to, get another skill, so on and so forth down the line. Want to make one quick mention while he just runs through the first area of the game here, King's Pass, is that you do have an RTA timer on your screen. The game, for competitive purposes on the leaderboard, is calculated loadless. We have an auto splitter that's going to be removing the loads, which is why the estimate that you see there, 41 minutes, is a little higher than his actual record time of 33:07. RTA, that translates to about 38 on the record.
Yep, so as we said, it's no major glitches. There are a couple minor glitches to note. There are lever skips and inventory drops. So inventory drops is something that you actually saw at the very start of the run. If you're in the area, you'll see it right here too. When you open the inventory, it will cause you to fall faster, so it will uncap your fall speed. Otherwise, you can only fall at like some terminal velocity. And the other thing it will do is it will make you not hard fall. So when you hit the ground, you won't be stunned. Unfortunately, we can't do an inventory drop during the well into Crossroads here, so you'll actually see him get stunned and see what a hard fall would do if we didn't have these inventory drops.
Yeah, and he's going to be doing it again in the next room right here. There's some RNG that is going to be involved with some of the Gruzzes, which could potentially be in his way. He's going to do a middle fall here, and looks like he got some pretty good RNG, didn't get hit. So he's going to be going into a little short sort of tutorial type arena here. There's going to be 2 Aspids that he's looking to kill, and there's a spike that's going to fall down on the left side after this first kill. That he's going to try and knock into them, and whiffs it. That's okay. And a little bit of a backup there, and takes 1 hit. Not a big deal. Health isn't a major concern this early. But speaking of health, resources, top left of your screen, there's the soul meter, the white globe with the eyes. It's effectively your mana. The health is the mask shards, and then Geo. And this route is pretty heavily optimized in terms of what we're going to be collecting along the way. And soul management and health management, pretty critical. There's going to be some areas where he's going to want to do some intentional damage tanks, and a lot of damage rotation that he's going to want to do between his Nail and Vengeful Spirit. So it's going to be something that he's going to be monitoring the whole way through.
Yep, Soul and Geo, both very important resources that as you get faster and faster times in this game, and as the route gets more and more optimized, becomes super important to manage those. 13 Geo from that Aspid Arena is actually very good. What we're looking for is 206 Geo by the time he kills Hornet, so you might think 13 isn't very relevant compared to that 206 number, but in reality the Geo routing is so tight that it's actually a pretty important start. And full soul right now doesn't mean too much. Soul's going to come into practice later. This is False Knight right now. It's probably the easiest boss in the game. He'll have one cycle, and then there is a dev intended skip, where he will actually break the wall on the left side after this first cycle of False Knight, and he will go straight to Vengeful Spirit.
Yep, and so there is a little bit of geo that he's going to collect there on the left as well from the enemies that died. As you mentioned, looking for around that 206 mark by Hornet. And not a whole lot of options available to him for fast backups on the way there, but all will be said and done in very short order. Vengeful Spirit here in the Ancestral Mound. First real skill of the game, going to open up a few different things. You're also going to notice that we are playing on simplified Chinese. That is just because, for whatever reason, the text scrolls faster in that language, so we save time that way.
Yeah, and also a good time to mention we are not playing on the current patch of Hollow Knight. We're playing on patch 1.2.2.1. It is 2 or 3 years old at this point. There are a couple reasons for that. One of the reasons we'll get to in a sec is that you can kill the Baldur in Green Path with only one fireball, but we'll mention that when it comes. The other big reason is inventory drops, much easier on this patch, and lever skips. So there's a couple lever skips we're going to be doing. One very important to skip a major enemy, but for now we have VS. It'll open up a couple skills, and we're just going to go through Ancestral Mound, and we'll show it off at the Baldur at the end of this area.
Yep, so some precise platforming here to go fast. That little tick-tick is a bit of RNG. He's going to be pogoing off this Baldur. If you time it right, you can break both planks as you're falling the way through, up slash to knock this little mini Baldur over top, and he's going to pogo off the Vengefly here, and another pogo sequence off of that Baldur smash. Here's 2 fireballs. He's going to wait. This is some RNG. First spit, very nice, 50-50 chance whether or not you're going to get a mini Baldur spat out there, and that is exactly what you want. It's first spit. And we got VS, and we're going to be moving off to Green Path. And Bowie, I heard you had some donations you wanted to read for us.
I most certainly do. Thank you very much. That was smooth as butter. That was my word. There is a $10 donation from Spiral saying, "Love you, Fire. I got your back." So that's going towards, obviously, killing the grub. Although, you know, swings and roundabouts, Sparkle Tone with a $75 donation comes in going, "Love to all grubs everywhere." And Emre with a $20 donation saying, "Save him, you coward!" And then an anonymous $30 donation as well, going to the same incentive, to the same bid. So, things are heating up in the fate of the grub.
Yeah, so you saw there the Baldur, just some camera manipulation, basically. He went off screen, and the Baldur was able to get one shot, and that's the first fireball skip that you saw. Vengeful Spirit, the fireball gives you some knockback when you're in the middle of the air, and that allows us to, as we say, skip some areas. The first 2 that you're going to see aren't incredibly important, unless, of course, you're going for a world record. But the third one actually saves a pretty significant amount of time. So, again, with the soul routing, he's trying to time his hits pretty specifically here, killing the birds up top for full soul. Very nice. And I'm going to be coming up on the second fireball skip. That donation, by the way, incentive is 155 to 20 in favor of Save the Grub. So if you are a bug murderer, you got some catching up to do.
You can see Fire shake his head there on the second fireball skip. That was actually a pretty tight 2vs skip he did. The first one was really smooth. He actually made it pretty far. And the third one up here, yeah, he's going to make that too. So he's 3 for 3 on fireball skips, kind of what you expect from Fire. Those are very difficult and often difficult things for new runners to get down. Not required, but, you know, if you're going for fast times, they become more and more important in big reset points in the run.
Again, with the soul farming, he's looking to get up to 8 out of 9 total soul that you can get with your nail, so that he gets 9 on this Moss Knight, and then can get 3 fireballs after the first nail hit, the perfect combination of damage in order to take the Moss Knight down. Ideally, and you could see some fast movement there with a bit of a pogo, he was trying to get a setup for a double hit. Something that you can do when enemies are moving away from you as you cast Fireball is sometimes that knockback will result in 2 hits instead of 1. Didn't get it, which means he has to farm a bit more soul here for the Vengefly King, and kind of the same principle, Nail Fireball, and gets the quick kill, collects the Geo. He is short. He's got 198 and a little bit of collection to do.
Yeah, so there is one enemy down here that gives you exactly 8 Geo, and that's the number we'll be looking for if you can get all 8. this Moss Charger will drop 8 Geo, and we're looking for 206 total. So he might take the slow, and yeah, you'll see he gets exactly 8. So we are at exactly that 206 number. He doesn't have to worry about any random Geo and Fungal. He has exactly enough. And we're coming up to the Hornet fight, which is actually a pretty optimized fight nowadays. We'll see if he can get any doubles here. There are new strats to get double hits. He gets hit right away, which isn't the best. Hornet will stagger after 5 hits, so you'll see him use 2 fireballs, 3 nail hits, and she'll stagger. And he's going to try to keep her in the corner, but Hornet is jumping out a lot. He misses a fireball, can't find doubles. A lot of RNG in this fight, and it's not going too well for him. A little bit of a worry with 2 HP here, but Hornet is close to dead. Hornet's just running away. So pretty bad patterns there, but he handled it all right. And we'll get through Hornet only a few seconds behind.
Yeah, not too bad. So he's going to save and quit here. Important function of save and quit is that it will put you towards the last place that you benched, which is something that we do in terms of routing in order to make things go fast. We're still got our bench at Ancestral Mound, which is where we want to go next, so that we can head into Fungal Wastes and down into the Mantis Village to get our next skill, which is Mantis Claw, aka Wall Jump, and some tricks that are going to be happening along the way there as well that we'll get to. But one of the toughest segments, in my opinion, in the early game, in order to try and optimize for your movement. He's going to be doing a lot of falling and very precise dashing in between various different platforms, and basically trying to avoid some of that hard fall that we were talking about earlier, in which you can cancel with an inventory drop. Some instances, he's going to want to inventory drop then dash, like you see right there. Other instances, the inventory drop is not going to be as beneficial, so he'll just fall as normal and do that dash like you just saw in heading into this room.
Yeah, Fungal Way is getting more and more optimized. It seems like every day. This run's still actually run a lot, both by older players and by newer players. We're still getting some more top times in the leaderboard. It's really cool to see. And one of the things that's been changed a lot, and a lot of runners do actually very differently, is Explosion Pogo, which we'll see in a sec. So the intended route through Fungal is you go all the way around to the right, you get Retta Bench, is what it's called, and then you go around to Mantis Lords. We're going to be doing very little of that. We're not going to go to the right because it's slow. We're going to go over a wall because we can, and you'll see it here. So he's going to wait on this middle platform just a little bit, up slash that guy. Oh, he's going to go for his crazy Explosion Pogo. He misses it, unfortunately. He's going to try it again. Looks like he's just trying to show off here, which you like to see. So these dashes are very intentional, so he can get that thing to explode there, get a Pogo, and he'll get over there, which you shouldn't be able to get to, but nice second try there.
Pretty much a swag strat saves like 7 frames or something obnoxious to do damage tanks like that. That's Mantis Pogo. All of that you just saw happen very quickly with the 2 Mantises was done very deliberately with the setup from the fall down into that room. All the movement preceding it, killing the big Mantis on the ground and then moving back with the dash jump and then pogoing off of one Mantis. It's all set up in order to manipulate the movement for those Mantises into the specific position so that he can get the pogos and go up that left side immediately instead of rotating around the intended way.
And Fire actually on very good pace here. We're privy enough to see the actual loadless timer. And he's basically just behind by that one missed Explosion Pogo, give or take a couple seconds. So actually a really good run so far. Right now, you'll see him save quit back to the exact same bench. Again, we didn't save anywhere else, so when we quit, the game's like, all right, we'll put you back here. And this time we're going to go a different way. We're going to go to the right toward Gruzmother, and this is an important part for soul management. He needs 6 soul to have an optimal Gruzmother fight by the time he gets to the arena.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of the movement that you're going to see in the rooms with the cycles there is very precise, like that previous Gome room. There's a pre-jump setup that you have to do in order to land on a platform when you don't have dash in order to be able to make the Gome cycle. And you're going to see a lot of instances in that. We aren't going to call all of them out, but it is something that you will want to pay attention to. So open up this stag station for later. We don't need it right now, and we don't want to bench there. But we do want to come back to Forgotten Crossroads from that stag in about, I don't know how long, a few minutes anyway. So Gruzmother here, he's got the 6 soul that he wants to start the fight, and he's going to do nail fireball to repeat until he is 6 nail hits away, and very nice climb up there actually as the Gruzmother decided to try and fly away in order to continue getting that nail damage in. Cleanup here requires 2 fireballs. Ideally, that's all he's going to need. Not going to have to do any nail swings with the little baby Gruzes. 1 fireball, 2 fireballs. Did miss 1 Gruz, not a big deal. Pretty good cleanup. I think I'd hire him as a janitor.
Yeah, we're also pretty fortunate that none of the Geo got stuck in the ceiling there. Again, he was at exactly 206 Geo, so he needed every bit of Geo. You see him with 220 here, and Shaman Stone cost exactly 220. Some Geo can get stuck in the ceiling sometimes, so for no reset run, it was kind of fortunate that the Gruz wasn't high enough to get it stuck. And Shaman Stone, which you just bought, that will increase our spell damage. Technically not required to beat the game. If you're doing something like low percent, you won't do it at all, but very much worth it to buy that just for the increased damage for fights like Watcher Knight, Sumu, THK. And the damage you just saw was intentional. He is setting up Shade Skip right now, so he's intentionally going to die. It will spawn his Shade, which will go and attack him, and is something we can use to pogo off of to get to an unintended area right now.
A bit of an early sequence break here. We'll see how he does. Setup is 6 jumps off of the wall, and then dash over. Oh, he gets the fireball. He's going to have to reset the position, and very nice. Unfortunate that what basically happens there with the Shade casting a spell at you is if it's on the same Y level as you are in terms of horizontal position, it has a chance, RNG chance, to cast a fireball at you, and we're just a bit unlucky. So we're going to go get Dreamnail. This is a required pickup in order to be able to access the Dreamers in order to finish the game. This is one of the lever skips that we were talking about. Not really a skip so much as just you can hit it through a wall. And that's what you're going to see when he heads up to the Watcher Knights. That's going to be a pretty important part right there.
Yeah, that lever skip in particular, definitely not the important one. As you may be able to figure out, you could just go around and hit it from the top. The other thing about that lever skip is, for whatever reason, it's still in the game, even in current patch. So if you own this game and you want to try that little bit of speedrunning tech, you can save a couple seconds. Right now, we're going to enter the Dreamer cutscenes. This is a nice time. You'll actually see him. I was about to mention it's a nice time to stretch your hands. You'll even see him on screen. Stretch his hands just a little bit. And then this cutscene actually getting pretty optimized. He's intentionally going to fall down. This is a little bit of timer manipulation for the loadless timer. It'll stop the timer temporarily. I don't know exactly why, but it is something we do. And then he's going to go through these dream platforms, and we're going to hope he doesn't fall off here, basically.
Yeah, pretty optimized Dream platform section there. It does cost time RTA, by the way, but he does have his splits up with the loadless timer, so obviously still going for it. You've got $125 to go if you want to tie the incentive, by the way. Save the grub, kill the grub. Save the grub is currently winning at 155. Kill the grub is at 30, and he's got a sign ready.
I was like, do you mind if I just quickly...
Please do.
We have a $5 donation from Simba, the future Lion King. This game is slimy, but satisfying. I have to agree. Then Timesync with a $10 donation. And I think this is where the gauntlet's really being thrown down here. It takes courage to be absolutely, unequivocally correct. And that is $10 in favor of killing the grub. Now, if you like being right, which you so I think we do, then I think you should agree with the murder of the grub and start getting those donations in now. We're about halfway through to the point where we're going to be cutting off. So you've got about 13, 14 minutes-ish left. So if you are right and we should kill the grub, donate now. Thank you so much indeed.
Yeah, so for those of you in the Hollow Knight community that are in chat with your copy passes and etc. so forth, just so you guys know, you'll be aware, we're going to be cutting that off once he kills Umu. So if you want to chip in, that is going to be your time. So one of the things that he's doing here is he's picking up relics. There is a shopkeeper known as Lem, which will buy the relics off of you, and we were talked off the top of the broadcast about geo-routing being pretty intensive, and the relics are pretty much key in order to acquire a lot of geo in a very short order. The reason that we need it, in addition to opening up stag stations and so on and so forth, is that we need to buy the Lumafly Lantern in order to head into Crystal Peaks, which is 1800 geo. Safety bench here for marathon purposes, yes indeed. That is optional in actual attempts, but don't blame him for taking it. Watcher Knights can be a very difficult fight even for the best runners. And more geo coming up here with the Gorgeous Husk.
Yep, and he's going to go into Gorgeous Husk. An important thing you're going to see in Gorgeous Husk that will persist throughout the run is double hits. So Fireball does a certain amount of damage, base damage, but it will do double that damage if you hit twice, and that's what he's doing here. You can see as he shoots the Fireball to the left, like Gorgeous Husk 2 times. Obviously 1 time at the very end because he just died. And something to mention, a couple things to mention actually, as he just picks up more Geo and City and heads toward Watcher Knights. For one, saving the grub and killing the grub does not change the time. You may actually lose like a frame by saving the grub, but just so you know, it's not like Super Metroid where it's a significant difference in time to save it. And another thing is, this is actually a very good pace. Like, this is a super impressive pace. This technically could still world record. Not on record pace, but yeah, best possible time is still under.
Yeah, he's within striking distance, that's for sure. Especially for a no reset marathon situation, this is actually a pretty solid run. So that's the major lever skip. There's a lever you can't see in the dark room here that he hit through the floor, and then just a little bit of dark room movement in there. That room actually doesn't light up unless you come through the intended way. So he's going to hit the lever up here and head on towards the Watcher Knights. If you didn't know, there are 6 Watcher Knights, but you can make it 5 in short order. Ooh, Fireball got eaten by the wall. That's a time loss. So yeah, you can break the chandelier and it will drop down and take out one of the Watcher Knights for you, which will leave you with 5 to go. And he's going to get a Dream Nail off on the first Watcher Knight, and the fight begins. He's got a very specific damage rotation that he wants to get in. Nail, Fireball, and then jump over, get another nail as he's dropping down. Try and get Fireballs while the Watcher Knight is moving away for the double hits that we alluded to earlier. Not too bad for a first Watcher Knight, in position now to Dreamgate next to refill on soul and continue the fight.
Yeah, so these patterns aren't too great so far. You really don't want to see these bounces, which is all the Watcher Knights are giving you right now. What you want to see these nail swings, because you can hit them during those, and that's the only way you're getting soul, and getting soul is the only way that you're actually going to be able to use VS, or Fireball. The nice things you see are those rolls there, because he can actually get triple hits if he follows the Watcher Knight with the Fireballs. He's playing the fight really well, actually. You can see him not have taken any damage here. This is probably the biggest obstacle for new runners, is just surviving this fight, much less doing it well, and again, more bounces here. Not great patterns, and he's playing it a little bit safe, but yeah, he'll get, I think, a triple hit on one and a double hit on the other on those rolls, so that's 1 Fireball with 5 Fireballs worth of damage. Still hasn't taken any damage. Probably like a few nail hits and a Fireball away here?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, about that.
Yeah, that's just for your information. If you were getting hype about the world record, it's pretty much dead at this point.
Yeah, my bad.
Not to, crap talk fireb0rn or anything. He got a pretty bad pattern there. He lost 10 seconds to basically just Watcher Knight RNG. Not a whole lot that he could do. He did play it a little safe in some instances, but a pretty good fight overall.
Yeah, it's just one of those places where you can just get bad RNG. Like, you just have to reset. The record's just too optimized at this point. You can blame Fire for that. He currently does have the record. Right now we're getting our first Dreamer in Lurian. It's going to take 10 hits here, and then we'll see a Dreamer cutscene. The requirements to beat this game are to collect all 3 Dreamers. That will open the Black Egg Temple. And sorry if you haven't played this game before, if this is spoilers, but honestly, you're watching the run. This was your own decision. And then in the Black Egg Temple, we can obviously kill the Hollow Knight to stop the timer and win the game.
Bowie, I've seen some donations are coming in. You want to chat up those a little bit?
I absolutely would. What I would love to. God, the English language is very, very difficult at times, especially when you're in the middle of trying to do something specific. Right. Okay, we have a $25 donation from Ananas that says, well, you convinced me. I believe that was towards killing the grub. So it has closed down the gap so far. And also Ruby with the $5 donation saying, God gamers no mercy. Gonna save, I think, yeah. Would you, do they? We're certainly killing frames usually with our speedrunning. And then a $25 donation as well from Booju. So thank you very much indeed for you guys over there. So that's, let's have a look at the new totals. I believe it's 160, I believe. Yes, yeah. 160 to 80. So that was $50 overall in towards killing the grab, and then a paltry $5 trying to save him. So the gap is closing. We have about 8-ish minutes to go. So if we want to destroy the grub, then continue being right, everyone. Thank you.
Continue being right. I like it. So what Fire is doing here is effectively just collecting a bunch of geo. He's got to go talk to the shopkeeper Lem, who's over here at the fountain. He's collected a bunch of relics, which he's going to go sell. So there's a whole bunch of mashing to do. And we got a little bit of sort of down period here in the run other than the mashing, which is kind of nice. How's his geo looking on?
Yeah, so we're about like 30 geos short. He has 1100 in relics here, which just is going to spam A to sell. So he'll get to, if I can do math at all, like 2292 here. The magic number that we're looking for is 2322. So yeah, I think 30 geos short here. He can still collect that, leaving City of Tears. It's a little bit suboptimal. Again, like you saw, he was at exactly 0 geo after spending Shaman Stone, or after buying Shaman Stone, I should say. So it's kind of expected he'll be short. We'll see how much he gets from like VS here. I'm assuming he'll fireball these guys, yeah. Okay, so now 13, yeah. It's going to be a little bit of a time loss. We'll see how he decides to collect the rest of that geo.
Yeah, there's a couple places where he can farm the rest of it. It's not all that big a deal. So he's going to be moving back towards King Station and the bench there as he's on his way to get the Lumafly Lantern and off to... That was actually really bad positioning. Not fireb0rn's positioning, just the enemies there were just a bit trolling.
Yeah, so he's all set on Geo now. We're going to unlock this. We'll also do something called Look Down here.
Scurry Look Down, excuse me.
Oh, my apologies. Do you want to explain it then?
Yeah, Scurry Look Down is basically when you open up a toll or something like that and you look down, for whatever reason it accelerates the toll popping back up, so you can save some frames there, a few seconds actually worth of frames, which is quite important. You're going to see that again in a little bit as he heads towards Crystal Peaks. This is Sly. He's the shopkeep that we rescued all the way back when we got Shaman Stone. There's the 1800 geo for Lumafly Lantern, sitting at 226. Not too bad. Has to open up a toll booth on the way to Crystal Peak. He does bench there. That is very important. Reminder, the save and quit function remembers where you have last benched. So we are going to be returning to that area at least once more. I think it's just once more.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, once more. I know the route.
Yeah, they're just trying to remember the route in the midst of the commentary. This room is incredibly annoying. The Vengeflies have decided that they are going to drink the spider water or whatever radioactive thing that you want to say, and they're going to be very big and very tanky and very annoying. And it is surprisingly difficult to navigate that room. Frank does a pretty excellent job, but buys his way into Crystal Peaks. Fun fact, we have to get Lantern in order to do that. Nobody knows why. You may be questioning, well, he was in a dark room before, why does he need the Lantern? It's literally just a hard lock. The game's coded that way that you can't open that toll without having the Lantern. Pog Axe is successful. Nice little pogo off the axe thrown there by one of the miners. Saves a little bit of time done optimally instead of doing the left side climb. And looking for the God Pixel or Cycle here, interchangeable almost. They do mean technically different things, but the function is the same. Jumping up the left does not get it. Does take damage, not a big deal. He's still got 4 HP. And that is plenty, as he's going to be heading into a room here where he's going to want to intentionally damage tank in order to hit some cycles.
Yeah, and all these things, basically every room you're seeing in Crystal Peaks are like optimizations found in the last, I don't know, save God Pixel like year or so, if not less. If you're new to this game and you want to start running Hollow Knight, or if you're just going through Crystal Peaks casually, all of these things are saving like less than a second. Please, like, do not try this at home. This is something only top runners are currently doing.
It's getting close, guys.
I just noticed that, boy. We're sitting at 160 versus 135. We got another $55 total coming in for the kill.
Yeah, because after I was a little bit mean, wasn't I, at that last one? Because we had $50 for kill and only 5 for save, and I was a bit mean saying that was a paltry amount. But you know, spurred on by such a taunt as that, we've had a lot of a little bit of support for saving, and even more support for Kill the Grub. We have a $5 donation from Bye-Bye, which is, I want to eviscerate Grub. I want to eviscerate. We then have a $20 donation from Visuals again, who says, all right, got to make this closer. Only cowards waste time saving useless NPCs or talking to Elderbug. Leave it to die, Fire. A $10 donation from 56 that says, Grub outdated, long have we awaited, fireb0rn activated! And then a $10 donation with no comment. So thank you very much for all of those. It's getting close. $25 is the difference.
That was some pretty good poetry right there, to be honest. I really enjoyed that.
What is this
Visuals, by the way, we already discussed this earlier. Killing the Grub does not lose you any time versus saving, so just don't lie to people, okay? Just don't lie. That's all I'm saying.
So
So-
Fire got maybe... Go ahead.
No, you got...
Fire got maybe the unluckiest drop I've ever seen. He actually takes 4 damage falling all the way down there, and he's still gonna go for this drop. He's at 1 HP right now. If he gets hit, he will respawn back at the bench in Dirt Myth. There is a safety save he can do above Umu, which I'm assuming he'll take. It's not something you'll see in runs, because it loses, I don't know, something like 7 to 10 seconds to go up and get that bench. But at 1 HP, like, I don't know. I guess we'll see here, but I can't imagine he skips it. Umu is the point, yeah, he's going to get the bench. Umu is the point where the grub incentive will be stopped. So once he kills Umu, those numbers are locked in. How long it takes to kill Umu is dependent on how many cycles he gets. Optimally, he can do this in exactly 2 cycles, if he does perfect damage rotations with 150 damage each time. And we'll hopefully see that, otherwise we might see a 3 cycle.
Did take 1 damage as he was trying to be the left side fall there, which is a little bit faster if you don't take damage. He does go for the safety heal, don't blame him there, gets a Dream Nail off to get to the 1/3 soul, gets a slow attack off of the first one, not a big deal, dropping into a very specific position here on the lower right side. I guess it's wait. And jump up to the middle platform. He's you can tell by his posture what he thinks of how that has gone so far. So again, with the double hit on the knockbacks, that's exactly what he was looking for the first cycle for Umu. He does get a slow attack off the start here. Possible to get an extra attack. We'll see what happens. Will it be another slow? No, he gets a fast attack for the second one. He is at full soul again. Very nice Dream Nail management. Soul management repositioned. Very good. And... no, the platform eats the fireball again.
So he was 1 nail hit short there. His positioning left Umu a little far right, so he had to do it real quick. I don't even know if it was possible at that point. Based on where Umu was, you want Umu more toward the center of the platform so you can get him stuck in that platform during your damage rotation. Luckily no extra attacks, and you'll see he was just... Wait. Okay, he missed the double hit, so he had to do more fireball. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, very close to the 2 cycle actually, and we will get a 3 cycle, and those donations are close.
Yeah, we got an update from Bowie that I'm seeing on the page here. We got 175 versus 170 for Kill the Grub. Is that our final total, sir?
It was for a little moment, but I'm just going to lock it in now and get those final things for you. Let's close that. Can I save that now? Save and continue. Is that closed? Kill the Grub is closed. Let's save and continue. And let's go back to our bids. The final numbers. Ooh! Yeah, for just a moment, Kill the Grub took the lead with 175 over 170, but I was updating it all the way through. The final totals, Kill the Grub with $200 and Save the Grub with $270 in the end. There was a massive outpouring and an influx of loads of stuff happening here. It was so good! Do you mind if I go through these? There's a fair few to go through.
Yeah, go through a few here. He's going to be coming up on a difficult skip in pretty short order, so maybe 2, and then we'll talk a bit and throw it back to you for some more.
Okay, well I'll get some on both sides. We've got a $50 donation from Sparkle Tone saying, "Still love grubs." Yeah, clearly you do. And then a $40 donation as well from Addy Addy, which just says, "Kill it." So that was a little expression of the support for both sides. But we have some more to go through in a bit.
Okay, we'll get to those in a little bit. Thank you very much, guys, for your support. We really appreciate you guys coming through. Memes aside versus save versus kill. That was a pretty awesome push from everyone involved, so thank you very much. So he's going to be coming up on a skip called QGA, Queen's Garden Acid Skip. This is very precise. You saw him do a variation of it, which was much easier earlier on in order to get towards this area. What he's going to do is that he's going to drop down towards Acid, which is poisonous and will damage him, dash against the wall, does not get that one. He's looking to get a Crystal Heart off of here, does drop into the right position on the second attempt, not too bad. Crystal Dash over the acid water, and he is through, heading off towards Beast's Den now. And Queen's Garden, very dangerous area, generally speaking. There's a lot of things that are going to want to kill you, and things that are flying, and some frog RNG that is involved in places, and all sorts of nasty stuff. But what we're doing through here is basically to bypass into Deep Nest as fast as possible. It does save 40 seconds over an alternate route that you could take from Fungal Wastes. He has a Flying Mantis Arena here, and 2 fireballs to clean up the top. Very nice, and he's going to be dropping down into Deep Nest. This has been patched, another reason we play on 1-2-2-1. Death Warp to that lever. What turns out when you fall into the thorns, it changes your respawn location.
Yeah, so the rest of Queen's Garden, still pretty difficult movement, especially in Beaston if you're not used to it, but it's easy enough. I'm going to have you continue with the donations if you don't mind.
How dare you, sir? I'd love to. We have a $10 donation from Axe 2 of Sweden. It says, can someone please say the name of that one nail art? Thank you. And kill the grub.
I'm afraid that's going to cost you 3,000 channel points.
3,000 channel points. Can we add that to the channel points on ESA? A Emre with $10 just goes, stop. All right. Right. We have a $20 donation from Beefmaster saying, well, if I were running, I'd save the grub. But it's fire, so we have to kill it. Sad face. And then another $5 from 56 saying, please kill them. Sadly, we can't because, the donations have spoken. But thank you very much, guys. Greatly appreciate that. You guys have been awesome, so cheers.
So that was Deep Nest, pretty quick. Some fairly basic movement, poking around some spiders, so on and so forth. And now we are heading into Beast Den. A little bit of a cutscene. This is going to be the last downtime, really in the run for fireb0rn. But if he holds right, which he won't, because he's going to get a drink of water, which is fair enough, you can actually persist that little creepy music from those guys through the rest of Beast Den, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, so he's coming in here with 3 HP. Optimal is 4 HP. The reason it's 4 and not 5, not full health, is because of the damage warp we saw earlier. You do have to fall into those thorns to save time for lever skip. There are 2 intentional damage tanks in this very difficult area. The first one's going to be coming up right now. The reason we damage tank is for these devouts. We'll see if he does it or if he does safety strats. It looks like he's doing it. You hit him twice and dash into him. If you dash into him, you only take 1 damage. If you let him slash you with his claws, you will take 2 damage. So that's why we dash. We will do that one more time with another devout. He has good soul here. He wants to get to full soul so we can do the same thing on the second devout.
Ooh,
That's
takes
really
a hit.
painful.
Yeah,
he's going to heal. He needs to not be at 1 HP here. It's just too dangerous an area.
Yeah, this section right here, if that spider trolls you, you can actually take damage, get knocked into the spikes. He only has 2 health, so that would have killed him. But in one of my runs, actually, earlier this week, I ended up taking the damage from the spider, got knocked into the spikes, and then the spider shot me when I respawned. So I took 3 HP of damage and just made it. So it's very dangerous, and he played that very well, is what I'm saying.
You can see Fire's muscle memory, well known to kill that grub, but he does have to save it. The donations have spoken, and a very good job on the second devout. We are through Beaston into Hera, and we only have 1 survivor.
ESA Marathon has redeemed the thing that costs 3,000 channel points. / Alright,
so Hera here is our final Dreamer. Another thing to note with the geo routing, I actually haven't been paying attention to how much geo he has left. You do need 250 geo here to buy the toll out of here. So there is some village stag, which is what we're going to be heading toward next, and we can stag right back to Dirtmouth, right back to the start of the game where the Black Egg Temple resides. And we do have all the Dreamers, so now we can enter that place, and as we fade from white, we'll see how much geo he has. 257, yep, so we're fine. No more geo needed in this route.
Yep, so all this is now is heading back to the stag station that's just outside of Beast's Den, and then off to the Hollow Knight. He's going to be looking for sort of emphasis on sort of a similar thing that what you saw with the Watcher Knights, is to get that nail fireball damage rotation in as much as possible. And there's going to be specific move sets that he's going to be doing in order to punish each attack. What you're going to see, the 2 main punishes that he's going to be looking for are going to be to punish a 3-slash attack by jumping over top and then getting the nail fireball combo. And then also he's going to be dashed at by Hollow Knight with a thrusting motion, not a slashing motion, sorry. And you can get a double hit as the Hollow Knight is moving away from you. And there's also a couple other ones. If he gets unlucky with parries, you're going to see some punishes. That one's kind of similar to the triple slash. And yeah, this is Black Egg Temple.
Yeah, so unlike Watcher Knights when they're rolling away, we can't actually get a triple hit, and double hit's actually fairly difficult. If you're trying this in current patch, it becomes even more difficult. The Hollow Knight fight was changed to make it more difficult in current patch. I suppose another reason we're playing on 1-2-2-1, but really not one of the major reasons. He's going to C-dash through this area. Something to note if you're a new runner, and something I didn't know for a long time, there is a bench here. You do not have to sit on it. Even if you die to the Hollow Knight fight, the game will automatically respawn you at the bench. So no reason, and especially if we're trying to save time, we're not going to stop our C-Dash to swim on this bench. So we're going to unlock these chains, and this is the last downtime he'll get if he wants to stretch his hands or take a breath or just jump crazily, as the Knight often does, before we do the final fight.
For those of you who are interested in his load list time, he is entering the fight. That scream there is roughly at around the 32:25 mark, so about a minute on record pace. There's the dash that we were talking about. Does get the double hit stagger on that second one, a little bit unlucky, not too bad though. Gets the parry, jumps over, nail fireball, very nice, and gets another sequence, double hit on the dash there. Parry, unlucky parries so far, but he's handling them well. And that's a, what, third or fourth parry? Fifth? Oh my god, these parries, what are these parries? Hollow Knight, please.
He hardly even looks surprised. He'll get the double hits here. He's actually doing very well in terms of mechanics. Like, he's getting, I think, every double hit. He's just getting a ton of parries. There's not much you can do. That is the attack that you want to see the least from Hollow Knight. First screen here, something to note, you can actually throw in one fireball before you have to start these nail hits. While he's stabbing himself, every attack you do will do 1 damage, doesn't matter if it's a nail hit or fireball, so we're not going to waste our sulfur fireballs there. And this is actually a pretty good attack. Kind of hard to deal with. If you stand about where he's standing and jump up, it's a place where you likely will not get hit by those random spits falling everywhere. And yeah, actually really good execution so far. Again, a lot of parries, but he's hitting every double, and he's playing this really well.
Yeah, and that soul farming while the Hollow Knight's jumping around like that is pretty difficult to do. He does get the Scream Skip, which allows him to continue doing damage, and that is the kill, and we will call time on the Fade to Black. Very nice. That is going to clock in at just a little over 34 in-game time. Very nice job, fireb0rn.
Yeah, really nice round. We'll tell you when exactly to stop. We, again, have privy to.
And
that
time.
will be our cue. It's going to be yep. For those wondering, 34:09 was the final time. Really good marathon run. No really costly deaths, no really costly anything. We lost time throughout, as you kind of expect from a no reset. But super smooth job.
Yeah, so that'll pretty much about do it for us. Unless fireb0rn has anything that he wants to say, we will throw it back to you, Bowie, and continue on the run. Thank you very much for having.
Yeah, thanks so much. Big shout out to Palm and Shave for commentary, and big shout outs to ESA Marathon, of course. Keep those donations coming in.
Right. Well, thank you so much, fireb0rn. That was a great run, and the commentary was on point across the board from both Palm and Shave. So thank you so much, guys, for doing that really, really slick run of a very, very great game. I hope you guys watching at home enjoyed that as well. I'm just going to go through a last few bunch of incentives, donations. Obviously, that was my last game on the block, so we're going to be when we go to a break, we're going to be passing over the host as well. So before I leave, I want to keep the commentators with me just for a moment, because this next one's for them. Satanic Nerd with a $5 donation says, "Is this how I make the commentators say the famous dash slash for all the stonkers out there?"
Dash slash.
Very nice. Thank you so much. There you go.
Well done.
You're a nerd. We have a $5 donation from Dave, which just goes, "Hi." Heart emoji.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Dave. Hi. We hope you're having a great time. Thank you so much indeed for the support. And earlier in the run, we got a $100 donation from Cheese Soda Punch, which is for an upcoming donation, an upcoming incentive, which is let's make things interesting and tie up the kill save roller incentive. Come on, chat. Roller's fate is in your hands. The fate of so many things are in your hands, chat. Subtle, fireb0rn, subtle. We like it. Okay. Let me have one last look at things before I move on. Yeah, I think that's it really. There was an anonymous $50 donation as well that just said one of those community in jokes. IFLG. There we go. Great. So thank you very much indeed, guys, for everything. That was a great run from you. So we're going to be jumping over to our next intermission, and then you will be joined as host by Robo Sparkle, and they will be with Keaton RL for Azure Striker Gunvolt 2. So much to look forward to. Thank you so much indeed for listening and watching and supporting a great cause. Thanks again, of course, to ESA, and we'll see you after these short promotional messages. Cheers.